Number two, Jesus is going to show us that there is a reward connected to meekness. Did you know this? Like there's a blessing for those who attempt to live a life of meekness. There's a promise here. Notice what Jesus says. Blessed are the humble or meek, they will what? Look what it says. Inherit the earth. Now, again, I said earlier, I don't particularly like humble because it's too simplistic. I like meekness better, but I also think the word earth is too broad. Because when you think of earth, what do you think of? The earth, right? Like the whole thing. But here's the question, if you know anything about the culture. Were the Jewish people concerned about what was happening in the Roman Empire at all? No. Did they care what was happening with the Greek world? Did they care about the Persia? They cared little to nothing about any of that. The only thing the Jewish people wanted was peace for Israel. That's all they were concerned about, right? We always say peace in the what? Middle East, right? But particularly in Israel. Now, this line here, so a better translation is this, write this down. You will inherit the land. You will inherit the land, because the land, and it's not just land. It's not like, hey, I'm coming to give Bobby just this deed to a piece of property. It's yours, an empty field. No, I mean, that's good, but you're like, what am I gonna do with this field? No, it was the land and all of the benefits that came with the land, which was peace and joy and satisfaction and fulfillment, right? Now, here's the pop quiz. I know it's early, follow me. This line, you will inherit the earth or the land, is a direct connection, literally picked up out of the Old Testament, and Jesus uses it in the New, from a book in the Old Testament. Pop quiz, who knows? It's called a kesher in Hebrew, or remez. Marty Solomon would say remez. It's a connection from the New to the Old, and here's the pop quiz. Does anyone know what book of the Bible, not those who came to the first service, so you're gonna cheat, don't do that. The sound booth knows, but who knows what book it's from? Anybody want to take a guess? Psalm, that's right, Psalm 37. Psalm 30, I mean, you're gonna see it lifted right out of Psalm 37 and put in the Beatitudes. Watch this, Psalm 37, verses 10 through 11. A little while, and the wicked person will be no more. He's saying, listen, I know it looks like there's evil prospering and the wicked are winning and those who attack us are getting ahead. But just remember, only a little bit longer and there'll be no more. Though you look for him, he will not be there. But the humble, the meek will inherit. Did you know this? I mean, literally word for word, Jesus takes it out. But the humble will inherit the land. And we have one more insight, and will enjoy abundant prosperity. That's what it means to inherit the land. What it means is you're gonna have all the benefits of what the land gives. Now, let me give you the background here. David, who's writing this psalm, is writing to the Israelites who are already in the land. So what does he mean, you'll inherit the land? The Israelites were in the land, but they really didn't possess the land because evil men and women were prospering. So they're asking the question, like, what are we supposed to do? The politicians are corrupt. The government's going backwards. The school system's teaching this. There's negativity and marriages being, sound familiar? Redefine. What do we do? Should we retaliate? Do we pick up the sword? Do we go after them? What does he say? Watch this. Go back to verse 3. Watch what he says. The whole psalm is about this. What do we do? What does this word say? Trust in the Lord and do what is good. You can't worry about them, but you can worry about you. Trust in the Lord and do what's good. Dwell in the land and live securely. Take delight, I love this verse, in the Lord, and he will give you your heart's desire. When I memorized it, it was delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desire, remember this, of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will act, making righteousness shine like the dawn, your justice like the noonday. Okay, what should we do? I think we missed it there. He tells it again in verse 7. Watch this. Be silent before the Lord. And I want you to see the theme here. Be silent before the Lord and wait expectantly for him. Do not be agitated by the one who prospers in his way, by the person who carries out evil plans. I want you to see this, Long Hollow. What is the recurring theme in that psalm? Did you hear it? Trust. Wait, slow down. You ready for this? Be silent. See, the key to meekness, here's the key, is you get to the place where you trust in God's sovereign plan for your life, which is why you don't retaliate when someone wrongs you. You don't try to get back at people who take advantage of you. Why? Because you know that God will do right of all the earth, and he will settle the accounts on your behalf. Here's the reality. When you step in and seek to handle things in the way you think they should be handled, here's what you're telling God without saying a word. God, I'm gonna be you for a moment. See, when you step in and try to do what you think is right for someone who's wronged you, you in a sense are playing God. When you seek revenge, what you're saying is, listen, God, I don't trust that you know what you're doing because you're dragging your feet way too much. I can do better than you can. And I don't know about you, every time I've done that, it's never gone well for me, right? It never goes well. Meekness is a superpower. Why? Because there is a promise attached to it. Here's the promise. I want to encourage you. When you live with meekness, when you respond with gentleness, and when you give an olive branch to someone who doesn't deserve it through meekness, you can rest assured the divine approval from God is upon you. That's the promise.